developing teaching mastery. Is one thing to be a good teacher or figure it out, but I'm interested in, over a lifetime, really just continuing to develop teaching mastery.
So as a faculty member, what I was trained most to do was research, and I didn't receive a lot of training about pedagogy, college teaching, particularly the student learning parts of it. So when I started a tenure track position, I was thinking primarily from the perspective of what I had experienced as a student myself, good teachers I had had, how they had run their classes, and I quickly learned that that was an incomplete picture of what was going on. I think when I first came to OSU, I had brought some classes with me that I had taught at other universities as a grad student, and realizing that they weren't necessarily so easily plopped into a new context, new students, new challenges.
As a new instructor coming in, you might think, well, even if I've done this successfully other places, how do I really know that it was successful? What do I need to change? Because courses should be fluid. Hopefully we're not just teaching the same thing over and over again. Okay, that seemed to work. I really have no idea why, so I'm just going to pull it off the shelf and teach it. It's a living thing. What makes it a living thing are the students. They might be changing. It might be different here than where you taught it somewhere else. You're going to get the feedback you need to say, okay, how do I look at this through their eyes, through fresh eyes? And when we're brave as instructors like that, that's when there's real growth.
A lot of new instructors and a lot of people don't know about UCAT. Every time I go to UCAT, I feel like I discover more and more dimensions about what UCAT offers.
Like every experience with UCAT, it helped me get more explicit about what I value as a teacher, what I'm doing, what's effective.
Sometimes it was a stretch to have to go across campus and get to a workshop, but I think it helped develop me as a teacher, as a professional here at the university. It helped me also just to network and collaborate with other instructors on campus and get support and make connections with them.
I've had a lot of support from ODE. Really just last year was very terrifying to me. I'm not a tech person. What I can say is, even if you're not a tech person, you can totally do an online course. I have had them holding my hand through the process, slowly acquiring new skills and videotaping myself in my office and doing all sorts of things I never would have guessed, embracing something that really I thought was not part of who I am.
So when I work with Writing Across the Curriculum in my role as a course coordinator, they help with professional development for instructors. They've worked with us on how to build writing assignments into our courses, how to structure and scaffold those assignments, ideas for assessing the way writing is used in a course, help on giving feedback to students, creating rubrics. It's just been invaluable in helping a group of instructors who really haven't had experience teaching writing find ways to incorporate writing into a class in a very meaningful way.
The first time I met, I just didn't know what UCAT offered, and they really helped me figure out what I need some help with. That's where I learned about the Course Design Institute and some of the other sessions I could go to, and then a lot of the online materials. And then I also met with them again when I was trying to figure out how to assess the new course I designed in the Course Design Institute, because I wanted to make sure that after all that time I invested, which was wonderful, but it was a lot of time, I wanted to make sure I actually did it the way I should, or if there was any adjustments I needed to make. So it really was the best class it could be.
I have had excellent experiences with UCAT. My opportunity to be a part of the Course Design Institute was fabulous because it really gave me a foundation as an instructor to build a course that has significance. And I think my classes have benefited because students, the assignments and the exercises that we do in class really resonate with practices and things that they're going to need to use outside of the classroom when they've long forgotten who I am and what the course number was.
One of the things I was really excited to do was use mobile technology like iPads to have the students collaborate with one another in their groups, collaborate with their business partner or their community partner, and then also collect data. And again, the students were not always necessarily that adept at using mobile technology for these purposes. So I found ODE incredibly helpful for coming to the classroom, sort of streamline that process so that they really get started on the service projects. ODE was really helpful for getting those things up and running and making it very easy for the students to use.
every time a new faculty member comes in, I say, have UCAT come over and observe your teaching, get some feedback. Have UCAT talk to your students and get their feedback so you can transparently address any issues in the classroom or just do more of what's working well.
I was able to work with a writing associate who was an undergraduate student trained by Writing Across the Curriculum. She spoke with me about my assignments. She reviewed my materials and made sure the prompts were clear, that they would be understood by students in the way I wanted them to be understood. And really importantly, she was available to my students as a resource to help them think through the prompts, to talk with them about their drafts and their writing process. And that really, I think, was absolutely invaluable. Writing Across the Curriculum helped me to make sure I was really meeting the writing goals of this course.
So a learning community is a group of faculty. It can be professors or senior lecturers, in my case, that are brought together to focus on a particular issue that relates to their teaching. And so this is something that you apply for through UCAT. There are a couple of different themes every year. There's usually some sort of a stipend that goes along with it, but it's money to put towards doing the enhancements related to what you're focused on. And in my case, that's what I did, was that I used it to acquire some additional materials and to hire a student to sort of go through everything I was doing and point out areas that needed to be strengthened a bit in terms of that international perspective and engaging the international students.
Specifically, what helped me is we developed an iTunes U course. And when you see it online, you see it in the iTunes store, it's very, very daunting. And you don't really see like how your handful of lectures could be produced into something like that. And so what Corey and everyone else at ODE helped me with is explaining just the nuts and bolts of, let me walk you through this. Here's how we're going to create your course. You come up with the curriculum. Here's how we're going to record it. It really made it just really simple.
There's all sorts of other resources that I haven't even begun to utilize. Things like the library services. There's more that it could be doing with UCAT. There's really just an abundance of resources here. It's a matter of finding the time to take advantage of everything.
We can't all be scholars of teaching and learning. We are researchers in our own disciplines, so it's almost like having your own personalized buddy to tell you what to look at in the scholarship on teaching and learning.
It really helped me a lot. As a newer faculty member, it was nice to really know that I could email somebody or call somebody and they would respond and actually meet with me and just help me figure out what I didn't know.
So certainly as you start teaching, find out what resources are available to you in your department and on campus. Sometimes you have more support than maybe you think.